On her ID, her name is Sanelisiwe Twisha, known professionally as Moonchild Sanelly, is a musician and dancer. She's known for her signature blue-colored hair and her self-created music genre called future ghetto funk. Well, she rose to prominence as she featured on the popular 2017 hit song Midnight Steri, starring alongside mega producer and artist DJ Maphorisa. Well, she has since started building her own brand and is featured on the FIFA 22 official soundtrack. Well, she joins us now to take us through her musical journey so far and her latest single, Moonchild. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Vim. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Talk to us about your latest single. I believe it's called Kovivi. What's the inspiration behind that?
That one is like probably one of my most simplest songs. It's, I'm basically, if I had a chat with Kovivi, what would I say? So I'm like, please open the doors. We're tired of being locked down to protect our lives. Can you just get the hell away from us so that we can rock? It's December. We need to be eating people's bonuses.
I want to go back a little bit and tell me, what is this period called in your life, in your musical career? How would you define this period?
This, as in like lockdown period?
No, as in the space that you find yourself musically, personally.
Yeah.
Where are you now? How would you define it?
Because I write to anything, anytime, any genre. I don't really have any limits. And so, for instance, tonight's session, I'll know what today's session is about. But I really don't have limits with regards to spaces. I'm always in a hit-making space, basically, whatever the genre is, whether it's in South Africa or it's in the world.
What are some of your biggest musical influences, though? We talking about your 2015 debut full album. The album has a bit of jazz, hip-hop, and kwaito. How are so many musical influences put it into your musical career?
I think because I don't look at them as individuals, it's the music that I grew up under. So the pot, I mean, basically it's the ingredients, and my pot is future ghetto funk. So it's not necessarily a thought process. I think it in some ways how I think is a lot of the times influenced by what I grew up under, whether I had a choice in it or not, which was kwaito, jazz, and hip hop. They were literally forced down my throat. So whatever I've elevated it to is because of those are just ingredients and not things that spread out or split when it comes to my music.
And at what point did you say, yeah, man, you know what, these sounds actually make sense to me? All of them, all this mixed pot actually makes sense to me for me to make something out of it?
I mean, I started recording back in 2006, and in 2007 is when I basically established Future Ghetto Funk, because I had been involved with jazz bands, opening for Yobambusi Mhlongo, Madala Kunene, Gcina Mhlophe, and I'd been in reggae bands in different genres. So when I was just like, okay, cool, I need my own thing, because I'm kind of bored with something that's already tried and tested by somebody. I want to try and test my own thing my way. And so that's literally the journey I've always been. And that's why I'm here in a month.
Yeah, and it works, hey. At what point did you decide, you know what, I'm going to go my own route. I'm not going to follow what society says I must follow. Why is that a constant decision every day to say, you know what, society says we must go in this direction, I'm choosing not to?
The thing about it is not a decision when you're being yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a decision for me to think about having a weave, because it's not my personality, really. If I wasn't famous, I'd really look like this. I've looked like this for years, hence I own it. Before I owned the hairstyle, before I was famous, because I was ready for my greatness. So I'm just myself. I grew up being different, and I just know how to own it. At this point in time as an adult, when I'm dealing with adults who treat you like when you're in kindergarten, I think anyone that's different in general, whatever generation it is treated different. But my biggest thing is any kid at home must know that success doesn't have a uniform. You can literally work with Beyonce as yourself. There's no one who knows what Beyonce likes or doesn't like, but you need to love yourself enough and be grateful for who you are, rather than what you think people want. So for me, being myself is not a decision. It would actually be a decision to wear an afro, because this is my personality. It's not a marketing strategy. It's not anything outside of just me being myself, and I happen to be famous being myself.
I want to talk about your international fan base. Why do you think the international community relates to you so well?
I think it's because I'm different. Literally, in the world, when they look at me, I'm an African doll. In the world, when they listen to me, I am this creative magic because I don't have to explain myself. Unfortunately, at home, I've had to explain myself over and over again. And I don't mind because I've got a job to do then. Hence, I always vowed that I wouldn't necessarily change, but I'd work with whoever already speaks to my country, but I'm not leaving anyone behind, even though no one will hold me back. Do you know what I mean? So the world always sees treasure. The same reason we don't have the land. We don't see our own magic first. Solange wears tribal print, and now it's in fashion in South Africa when we usually use it to polish his stoop. So it's like knowing our worth. And sometimes you can't even blame a lot of the people because we're coming from parents that had to carry the dumbas. So we're the generation that's supposed to change that narrative because we weren't born in the times when we had to carry one. We were born to people that had to carry one. So I was fortunate enough to have a parent who was very liberated, never giving me an English name. So I think just being opinionated and being free and open-minded and just like this is because I had a mother who was like that. But we do have a long way to go. And unfortunately, we do come from parents that had to carry dompas. So it's a whole mental change that comes with us celebrating ourselves, just like celebrating being Black. Do you know what I mean? Now it's a thing, but for a long time it wasn't. So we are changing the narrative and we will get there. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I'll always have a job. I'm not demotivated by the fact that it takes a little longer to get why I look like this, but you can still dance to my music. I never have to explain why I look like this because I make good music and it makes you feel good. That's enough.
Yeah. I want to talk about FIFA 22. How did that come about?
Okay, so this conversation, I was having it for like a whole year.
Yeah.
I think I've literally grasped its magnitude as I keep talking about it because I promise you, level, it's just getting crazier because I'll do the TikTok and on TikTok it's got 8 billion. If the hashtag is on 8 billion and I'm just like, oh, whoa, I'm in there. Oh, snap. So I keep like, I don't know, there's this new wave of male fans. And I was like, oh, it's the FIFA. Because a lot of the times I'd be feeling like when I've got a hit on BBC radio, South Africa doesn't necessarily know. I think in my head I treated it that way, not realizing that, oh, snap, every Sunday my family was watching soccer. We were watching soccer every Sunday. So soccer is like a universal language as well. And so I think I keep understanding its magnitude, but it's insane. I'm just thinking about 1 cent of 8 billion streams.
When are we going to start seeing the fruits of that?
It's a lifetime one. It's just the craziest thing. It's the lifetime one. It's the craziest thing.
What does it mean? What does it mean personally when you look at it and now you've grasped the magnitude of it?
It means I am that girl, man. Like when I worked with Beyonce, I was like, yeah, I am that girl. And I got FIFA, I'm like, yeah, I've been that girl. There's something else that's coming. When I get my Grammy, I was like, but I told you, I am the girl. I'm ready for all the greatness
really are
I worked
girl.
my butt off.
Okay, before I let you go, what are you currently working on?
So I just dropped I'm dropping another one with Sir Trill. It's called Sayenga. I just shot the video for Kovidi, so that's dropping soon.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I've got another surprise. I think the studio session that I'm going to today is literally for this December surprise again with one of South Africa's favorites. So I'm back to my normal collaboration situation. So Trill and I are going to shoot the video as well in December and drop it. And I've got my album coming out in March, and then I do my world tour in March. Oh, and I'm in Saudi Arabia in December doing a women's conference on women liberation in a very oppressed country, in a very women-oppressing country. So I'm going to be there as one of the speakers that talk about liberation, all that jazz. So I'm going to be sober and I'm going to be in my church dresses, but the mission is bigger.
I was about to ask, what are you going to wear in Saudi?
Child, I think this is the start.
Listen, you are covered according to those standards.
Absolutely.
Moonchild, thank you so much for talking to us. Have a good day. Enjoy the studio session tonight.
Thank you so much, Lebo.
Moonchild, one of my favorites actually in the industry. So free. I think her other name should be a Free Spirit or something like that. South African musician Moonchild Sanelly is one of the artists featured on the FIFA 22 soundtrack. Well, we just spoke to her about what she's currently busy with and what is on her plate going forward. All right, let's take